Yeah, good evening, my dear friends. The Science Fraternity of Uganda. My name is Angutoko Paulino Jacinto. I'm the regional chairperson for West Nile Region, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. I'm also a member of the Education Professional Standards and Discipline Committee of the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the chairperson of our committee, Madam Auma Betty, to welcome you for this special session of the ProDev Hour. The ProDev Hour is a professional development hour, an initiative of Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union and the leadership of the Education Committee. And it comes every Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. During this program, we share a lot with the science teachers on professional matters, updates on the union activities, and we share a lot on economic development. And this very Thursday, the 3rd of July, 2025, I welcome you for a very important session on understanding the continuous assessment item, the CAI, for effective classroom assessment. This is a very important topic for us science teachers, for us all teachers, especially under the new competence-based curriculum. I have the privilege to introduce to you of our learners. We thank you. We ask this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Now, our facilitator and speaker this evening is Mr. Kaziba Stephen. He's an experienced science teacher, and he has been participating in national matters of assessment and training. So he's richly blessed with us. We ask him to share that with us this evening, and would be grateful that all you members, the science fraternity, get close to your phones and open and pick up with us and share this session with us this evening. Mr. Kaziba, Stephen, you are most welcome to make that presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our lead, and thank you so much for the invitation. I'm humbled to be here to share with you on the issues concerning the continuous assessment items. Allow me to share my screen and I'll start my presentation. To all the teachers that have joined this call, thank you so much for sparing time to be here. And thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule to come and learn something concerning the continuous assessment item. This session is going to be interactive, and we shall have quite a number of sessions in the same line such that we can be able to discuss the matters concerning continuous item to their fullest. My name is Kaziba Stephen, like they have mentioned, and our session outcomes for today, we are going to look at what CAI is, what is the purpose of this CAI, and also to know the features of the CAI. So this is going to be our first session. Then when opportunity comes, we are going to look at how do we develop a CAI, samples of CAI, and other things. So our major area of concentration today is going to be understanding what CAI is, what it involves, and what we are supposed to do in order for us to come up with a good CAI. And my first picture, we have 3 pictures. In the past years, our concentration has been more on assessing the children at different levels, but we have been mainly concentrating at the cognitive part. That's why we have been having children who have a lot of knowledge, but some of these children have been neglected because we have been having children who have good skills, who have the skills, but they have not been assessed. but also we have had children who have had good hearts, but these children were not assessed. So for a complete curriculum, we need to have children where all the domains are being assessed, where the cognitive part of it, where the affective part of it, and where the psychomotor domain are all assessed. And therefore, that's why the new curriculum is here, and that's why the assessments went on to change. So for us to have a balanced person, we need to assess these children in all the three categories. And that is the reason as to why we have the CAI. That the end of year assessments that are done by UNEB in October, November, they mainly concentrate on the cognitive bit of it. But since we as teachers, we spend much of the time with these children, we can easily tell what they can do using their hands. We can easily tell the kind of hearts, the kind of soul that they hold. And therefore, the CAI is here to help us assess other domains, mainly the affective domain and the psychomotor domain, such that we can tell and be able to report accurately what this child can do and what is capable of achieving. Therefore, for us to have a balanced child, we need to assess all the domains. That is the affective, the psychomotor, and then the cognitive. And when we talk about cognitive, we are looking at mainly the head. When we talk about the affective, we are looking at the heart. And then the psychomotor, we are looking at the hands, what children can do using their hands. So those are the three domains we are going to be looking at. But when it comes to the continuous assessment, we mainly look at the affective and then the psychomotor domain. So what is the continuous assessment item? When we talk about the CAI, we are looking at that stimulus which can prompt the learner to demonstrate the acquired competency during the learning and teaching process. When we are teaching these children many of the topics that they are learning, these topics, there are certain skills they are supposed to demonstrate. Let me say you have taught this learner ICT, and maybe you have taught this learner a topic maybe in using Microsoft Word or any other program or software, that anything that you have taught the learner. This learner must be able to demonstrate that particular skill. You have taught the child Sarah E. You have taught about justice. You have taught about values. Can this learner be able to demonstrate those things you have taught them? Now, like in Sarah E, we usually teach children some topics, but do you see those topics being demonstrated at the compound? If you have taught this child how maybe to deal with fractions, percentages, and decimals in fractions, can this child be able to share? Now, sharing is the competence, is the skill that the child has picked from class, but now is able to demonstrate in real life. So in continuous assessment, we are looking at those stimulus, we are looking at those contexts that we are going to be able to develop that can prompt the learner to demonstrate the competence that you taught this child during the teaching and the learning process. So the learner must be able to analyze, must be able to evaluate, must be able to respond. If you are talking about corruption as the topic may be in English, can this learner be able to demonstrate that now this situation, this and this and this? Can he be able to show, in case you have taught them energy, electricity in physics, are they able to show that concern for the community, that light is on? Now that light is on and it is during day, can I switch it off? Now there the learner is demonstrating the skill, is demonstrating the competence that he achieved, that during the electricity lesson, we learned that when power is on, maybe during the day, during this time, a lot of money is being wasted. So we want to see those skills, but those skills, sometimes they cannot be assessed on the final paper. But these are observable skills that we keep on seeing these children demonstrate in the time they are at school. So that's why now we have this continuous assessment of using the CAI. So for us to have that complete learner, we must be able to assess all the things. I may ask, we can use the chat. What components make up this phone? You can type in the chat quickly. Any component. When you look at this phone, what are those particular components that make up the phone? Bwambale Edgar has said we have a camera, buttons, motherboard. That is very good. That is very good. That is very nice. So you have noticed that there are components. Similarly, as the phone also has components, the car also has different components. I have looked, when you look at my screen, I'm showing two pictures. If I may ask, on those two pictures, A and B, which person would be very easy to approach? You may raise up your hand and give us a hint or tell us your reasoning. We have two people. Imagine you have met these people during that day. Which person would be very easy for you to approach and why? Feel free to raise up your hand if you can, or you can use the chat to answer maybe A or B. People are saying B is easy to approach. Okay. Mr. Wambale wants to. Yes, Mr. Wambale, you can unmute.
To me, I think A, the reason being I'm finding A to be falling in the 21st century, dress-wise, compared to B.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, that is okay. That is okay. Now, what does the continuous assessment contain? Or what are the components? One, it starts with a scenario or a situation. Now, the situation or the scenario we set, when we are setting these scenarios that we are going to pose to the learners, we always follow a principle. And that principle we follow is what we call the mean skirt principle. Under the mean skirt principle, we are saying that when you are setting this scenario, when you look at picture A, the picture A covers the subject matter. Picture A, when you look at it, it can pull someone's interest. Picture A has certain things it is covering. It can be long, short enough, but when all the subject matter is being covered. When you look at picture B covers everything, but when you look at the kind of attractiveness to the person looking at it, it may not be attractive. It might be a bit more scaring. And therefore, when you are setting a scenario for these children to do, always be mindful of the principle that let it cover the subject matter, but let it also be short enough to arouse interest. Because sometimes when you set something very lengthy, these children may lose interest at mere looking at what you have set. But what is most important is for you must be able to cover the most important part that is going to help these children achieve the competency. So whenever we are setting a scenario for our CAI, we always have an introduction. And that introduction can be a context. That context, we can cover it using images, relevant images that are related to what we are going to assess them on. Take an example. You want to assess them about maybe the assessment. Take an example. I can use, let me say in English. You want to assess them in English, and maybe the topic is on applying for jobs. Here you can bring a context of people lining up for a job. In case you are going to set something in Sarah E and you are setting about justice, go look out for a picture demonstrating where such actions, maybe of injustice, is being displayed. You are setting about neocolonialism in history. Check out for the picture or the scenario. It can be a scenario, it can be a text that you can pick from a newspaper. It can be a text you can pick from internet. It can be a small video where people are being showed but displaying the context you are talking about. In geography, you are going to assess these children on population and urbanization. Have a picture where you are seeing people of Ubos, these people who are counting. Show them. Let's have urbanization. Show areas that are now into that kind of level. In case you are talking about mathematics, you are going to assess these children in under lines and planes in 3 dimensions. Then have that picture of a house. It can be any picture as long as it displays what? The 3 dimensions. So the context, let it be real life. Let it be something that these children can easily relate to in their real life. And let it be related to the topic they are dealing with. In case you are talking about physics and you're going to talk about electric energy, distribution and consumption, you show them the meter, you show them the connections, you show them those pictures of people when they are connecting the power. In case you are talking about biology, concepts of ecology, then look out for those concepts that are related, look out for those pictures, look out for the article, such that the scenario is a bit short, but there is also a picture that can support these children to arouse their interest such that they can be able to approach with ease when they're dealing with this with this kind of question. So when we are setting a CAI, we always start with a scenario. Now from a scenario, we must accompany it with a task. What do you want this child to do with the scenario you have given them? Now the task that we give the children always depends on the level of the domain we are dealing with. Different domains will require different tasks depending on the scenario, depending on the topic you are dealing with. There is not any specific task, but it depends on what are you doing when with this particular what do you want the child to achieve at the end of the day. So we must always have a task giving instructions to what the child must achieve when he or she performs or goes through the scenario you have given this particular child. So those are the 2 important things, a scenario and a task. A scenario can be in form of a picture, a scenario that context can be in form of a video, a short video that you can shoot that demonstrates what you want. In case maybe you are in ICT, and in ICT you are dealing with electronic waste management, you can get that photo, you can get that picture where maybe old computers are being thrown, being disposed of and other things. Or you can look out for that video that will bring out that idea to demonstrate to the learners what happens within real life. But what is the purpose of the CAI? We have said that the purpose, 1, we are looking at assessing the practical application of knowledge. Every topic that we are dealing with, every topic that we are teaching these children has a real life application that we can relate to support these children appreciate the subject. If you are teaching this child a particular topic, show them, let them discover where can they utilize that knowledge. And I always love it when a child asks me that, teacher, where can I use this knowledge? In case the child asks you, bumps onto you and asks, but teacher, where can I use this knowledge? And therefore, as a teacher, as you are teaching a certain topic, as you are introducing this particular topic, look out for the real life application where this topic can be applied, where this topic demonstrates itself in real life. And therefore, for all the topics where we are going to assess this, where we are assessing, you'll find that those topics have some real life application. When you talk about let me say in entrepreneurship, you are going to deal with international trade. You will notice that international trading is something that is in real life. But have you showed these children? Have these children been able to discover how this international trading is done? In case you are teaching them nutrition and food technology, and maybe you are dealing with processing meat, fish, and poultry products, can they have a touch? Can they do? Have you showed them how those things happen in real life? Let's not only just teach for for us to complete the syllabus, maybe to get grades and the rest. But those hands-on activities will help the children appreciate the subject. So we are going to be assessing, or CAI looks at assessing the practical knowledge. But also we are looking at these children developing the analytical or the critical thinking skills, or what we are calling the generic skills. But also we are looking at active learning and engagement. When you set a good CAI, you will notice that children are very active and are engaged during the lesson. Take an example. You are dealing with things of, let me say in physics, you are going to deal with things of electrical energy distribution and consumption. And you have come with your yaka and you are showing them how they load power. You are showing them how to connect electricity. You are showing them how it is distributed. And they have that touch. The children will appreciate and learn more. They will be very active and engaged. They will appreciate the what? The subject. You are talking about painting in art and design, and you have given these children the different paints and they are doing the painting. They will appreciate. So there will be a lot of active learning and engagement. And remember that many of these things that children are able to touch and do themselves, they're able to remember at the end of the day. Even if it is after 5 years, these children will be able to remember. Many of the things that you remember now at this point, those are the things that our teachers were able to bring to class. Those are the things we were able to touch. Those are the things that we were able to have a hands-on. That's why even when you ask someone who was in primary, you will always remember something. But most of those things that we had hands on. So you become very active and you are able to engage. Even the children you think are a bit a special need, they will be able to engage. Okay, I'll jump this activity. But always, when you have gone to purchase things, always you have certain things you put or you consider before you do. And those ones are what we call the qualities, the features. You say that when I'm buying this, this is what I need. Many of us now these days, when you are buying something, let me say phone, you will say, I need a phone with a good camera. I will need the one that can keep the battery for long. I will need this and this. So those are also the CAI has some qualities. That one, it must be aligned with the competences. All checklists that we shall have or that you have received, you will notice that they have a competency. And that competence, at the end of the day as a teacher, that is what you need to look out for. That what is the competence? That the competence is to by the time the child finishes this is what he must be able to do. So as you are assessing, your target should be, has this person achieved this? When you go to the driving school and you want you have gone to drive, always the competence is, by the time I move out of this driving school, I must be able to drive. So the person training you, that is what is always on his mind, that this person must learn how to drive, or how, or which approach, or which tools, as long as this person has learned how to drive. Therefore, as a teacher, as you are going into the assessment, always have the competence at the back of your mind that as I am assessing these children, this is what I'm looking out for. This is what I want this child to learn. This is the skill I want this child to be able to demonstrate. I'm teaching this child maybe I'm teaching this child about painting in art. By the end of this by the time I finish the assessment, by the time we finish all the different levels, this person is able to do the painting. That means that that child has achieved the competency. Then it must be relevant. Always for the scenarios we do obtain to use for our CAI, let them be relevant and real life. Do not imagine something that cannot demonstrate itself in real life. As you are thinking about something, a scenario to give these children, ask yourself, where does it demonstrate itself in real life? If it is not demonstrating if you cannot also be able to visualize and you are using assumptions, then it means that it may be relevant to the topic, but Is it accessible to the child? That when you start assuming this, assuming this, let us use things that are easily accessible, relevant, clear, and authentic. That one will make the learner appreciate the subject that he or she is doing. Let's not just think of things abstract. You have seen scenarios that people are setting sometimes. You look at the scenario, and as a teacher, you sit down and say, can this be possible? Imagine this and this, those assumption things. Let us think of the topic early, that if I'm talking about applying for jobs, you look at which one can be easy for these children to access. That recently the Ministry of Education has been recruiting. Can I look for that post that they made in case I'm an English teacher? I look at how they make those announcements calling for people to apply for the jobs. What do these people need when you are applying for the jobs? So by relating that, that means that the scenario you can develop, it can be related to that the Ministry of Education, this and this and this, such that people can see, can come to appreciate what you are teaching. Then we are going now to break the competence, what we call the competence domains. Remember, we have three competence domains, and now we are going to break them, and we are going to concentrate mainly on these two. We are going to concentrate on the affective and psychomotor. Now, when you understand the affective and psychomotor, then as a teacher, when you are assessing, life is going to become easier for you. Why? These affective and psychomotor domains determine which kind of tasks and situations, contexts that you set for your children. And they'll guide you better on how to ask and what to observe. Because when I'm assessing the affective domain will require me to observe this child even outside class. That I taught this child about values, maybe in Sarah E. When you look at this child, maybe in case he has found power on during the day, can this child take an initiative to switch it off? If I taught this child still maybe about values, can this child be able to pick rubbish on compound without being told to do so? That means the child is appreciating the subject. If you taught this child maybe about electronic waste management, can this child be able to demonstrate that maybe in case these things are spoiled, I need to dispose them very well? You taught this child about maybe painting, and there is some work within the school. Okay? So certain things need to be observed even outside what? Class. This assessment of the continuous assess of the CAI is not basically done only in class. Certain things need to be seen outside the four-wall classroom. And therefore, we have said initially, that cognitive, it is mainly the brain. And that's where the UNEB that children do that are waiting for always concentrates. But in the classroom, we want to concentrate on the affective and then the psychomotor domain. Allow me now to first break the affective domain. Affective domain mainly deals with the heart, deals with things of feeling. Everyone has feelings. There are certain things that sometimes are done and you catch the feelings. I think that's what we say. We catch the what? The feelings. There are certain things you see. So even the topics we are teaching our children, some topics are topics of feeling, that the child must be able to feel the what? The topic. So that means that when we are dealing with those topics, we must as well be able to attach some feelings. The learners must be able to feel and appreciate those particular topics. Take an example. I have an activity here for you. Oh, where is that? Okay. So we have said that when we are dealing with the affective domain, we are mainly going to look at the feelings. But what are those skills that you are going to look out for when you are looking at the affective domain? Can this child be able to interact with others? And how does the child interact? You have seen children during sports activities. A child is maybe knocked accidentally, but the child stands up and maybe reacts rudely to a person. How does this child approach the different challenges? So there are certain skills that we are going to be able to look out for. But like I've said, when we are talking about the affective domain, we are looking at the feelings. Look at the feelings for this particular thing. So we are looking at the values. Do the children value? Do they appreciate the little they have? Are they motivated? How is their attitude? Now, all those different components are looking at the affective domain. Now, when you are teaching, you always need to ask yourself, does this topic require an affective domain or this topic requires psychomotor domain? When you are teaching electricity, that means you'll apply in what we call the affective domain. Because there is some kind of feeling, there's some kind of appreciation you need always to give. That if I leave my battery, or maybe if I leave a phone charging for the whole day, the phone will get full, but because it is full, some energy may be wasted. If you leave the lights on, even during the day. So you need to look out for which topic requires the feelings, which topic requires using the hands on. Now, I have here simple activity. So we are going to use the chart. These are different colors. And these are the different activities we have. How would you arrange these cards according to the colors? What would be the first color? So read through and then in the chart, which one do you think is the first color, second color, third color? You can type in the chat or you can raise up the hand. So I'm waiting. So you can arrange them in the order of what you call, yeah. So in case you want, you can raise up your hand and then you share with us what you think would be the order. Okay, waiting. Okay. Okay, teacher Ayebale.
Thank you very much, sir. To me, I think the very first one where we have Agnes received an early morning call should be the first one, followed by she responded by calling others to find out whether what she was told was indeed correct. Then the third one is red. The fourth one is yellow, and then the last one is green. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, teacher Lucy. Teacher Safra. Okay, teacher Safra. Okay, yes. So, yeah. Now, we are going to, when you look at, okay, the last one, Stephen. Stephen, are you able to unmute? Okay. Now, what? Okay,
Hello?
the last one. Yes, Stephen?
Hello? Yes, how are you,
Yes.
Mr. President?
I'm okay, thank you.
I'm looking at the first one being, I'm looking at the first,
Hmm. Oh, okay. Yes, Coach Secondary. Stephen, I'm failing to get you. Probably the network. Coach Secondary.
Okay. Thank you, Kaziba. To me, I'm looking at these events to be arranged like this. Agnes received an early morning call about the death of her classmate to be the first one, and then followed by the blue. That is the blue. Agnes responded by calling other friends to find out whether what she was told was indeed correct. Then thereafter, number 3 is Agnes started remembering the good things she had with the friends, and then that was followed by Agnes starting to organize her stuff, and then the last one is Agnes started participating in the work and got in touch with the family. Actually, the way they arranged it there is the way I think could be the order in which these events occur. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Teacher Safra.
Thank you so much, Teacher Stephen. I agree with the previous speaker. The cards are really organized. I'll just add something. So when Agnes starts to remember the good times she had with her friend, now that moves her. It goes to her to her affective domain, and then she starts to see, what do I have to do about this? So she starts planning to go and condole with a family, with a bereaved family, showing that, she's showing her last respects to a lost friend. Yes, thank you, but I agree with the previous speaker. The cards are organized. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. And okay, now the same way this situation opens up is how we deal with what we call the affective domain. The affective domain, the way you have seen here, that when you lose someone, you have to first receive information. So the keyword here that I was looking out for is the receiving. And receiving is what we call the first level of the affective domain. As you are setting this scenario, the learners must first receive the information. After receiving this information, what happens? That you must respond. So responding. So here, responding is what we call the second level. That you have received the call, and how are you responding? You want to verify the information. But the first step is you must first become aware. Awareness. That is the receiving. Then from there, you go to the responding. Responding, you are seeking verification. Then from there, you are going to remembering. Now, remembering here, you are starting to value. Many times when we lose our loved ones, that's when we start to value the good times they had with us. So, valuing is our third step, or what we call the third level of the affective domain. But what happens that after valuing, you start organizing your stuff and say, now let me get into the car and go to the ancestral home of the deceased. So organizing is our fourth. So this is what we call organization. And then the last one is what we call characterization. Now, yeah, some of you sometimes we say, he has become a character. Characterization means that it has become part of you. You are going to be now part of the family that is grieving. So, being part of the family, you are participating in the actual thing. In case now I relate this to our subjects that we do teach. If you have taught this child a given subject or a given topic, we expect that they are going to first become aware about the topic. Maybe you have taught them about, let me say values. After these children have become aware of the different values, how do they respond? After now that responding, are they able to apply them in real life? Are you able to see? It becomes very bad if you have taught a child, let me say, topic about corruption, but this child remains corrupt. It means that it did not stick. It was not part of, like the child did not obtain the competence to its fullest level. Otherwise, there are certain things that are still happening in schools just because children have not reached the characterization level. It has not become part of them. It means that as a teacher, you need to go back and evaluate the situation. Why is it something is still happening? You have taught these children respect, but they can bypass you in compound without even greeting you, even without supporting you maybe to carry something. That means that this level, the highest level of characterization, was not achieved. Meaning that if you are scoring this child and you have not observed some of those things happening, it means that this child doesn't deserve to get the scores. And that's why sometimes we keep wondering how someone has achieved everything, but you are not able to see the real thing you taught this child becoming part of the child. So this is the highest level of characterization. And therefore, for a child to achieve this, you must be able to see this child demonstrating that given competency at the compound. It becomes part of the child. You don't even need a reminder. Yeah, the child just does it from love. It just does it out of love. So that is the last level. So these 5 levels are the different levels we consider when we are dealing with this kind of domain. And therefore, when we are arranging them, when we are dealing with an affective domain, always we have to arrange them depending on emotional and behavioral progression of the child. We look at how is this child progressing from one level to another. Some of these levels are not achieved in one day, dear teachers. These levels can take time. It can take almost a month, even a full term. There are certain levels that will take time to be observed from a child. So the whole of your class may not reach the characterization level, but all of them will receive the information. They can be able to respond to it. But reaching those highest levels as you go up, not all those levels can be achieved. So we do expect that for some children, they receive all the levels. For some children, everything may not come out as you expect as a teacher. So that is about the affective domain. So affective domain, we have said it's about becoming aware and receiving the information. Then we have what you call the responding. Responding involves active engagement. So in case you are setting a scenario, here we shall see the learners actively engaging in the activity. That is responding to the given activity. Valuing, here we are looking at appreciating what you have taught these children. Then organization, we are looking at the ability to be able to formulate, to balance and examine the situation. But what are some of those verbs that are being used? Because you need to be very careful now as you are interpreting the syllabus for both A level and O level, because there are certain behavioral verbs or emotional verbs that they use that you need to look out for to show you that here it is an affective domain that I need to attach, such that when you are organizing your lesson plan, when you are making your scenario, you know which verbs you should use when you are assessing. Not every verb will qualify in your scenario or in your task, because we must attach a verb that relates to the given level. So at the different levels, when we are setting our tasks, there are certain words we use. When I'm at level 3 and I am looking at valuing, there are certain words that I have to use when I'm setting the tasks. There are certain words that will show me that now I'm at level 3, such as appreciates. can defend the situation, can debate, can explain, can initiate. Now, those ones we shall know that those verbs qualify to be at level 3. When it comes to characterization, that's when a child can act out. You have taught these children about there is a topic about interviewing. Let me say it is about interviewing, but you can now see the child can interview, can face the panel. So it means that now it has become part of it. So you need to look out for certain verbs when you are setting your tasks. For each of these levels, there are certain words that we go on to use. So that is briefly. But also when we are analyzing this syllabus, you must read as a teacher. You look at the topic. Take an example. This is my topic for this term, and it is about justice. The competence wants us, the learner, to understand the value of just society and the value of fairness in society. The learning outcomes always in a topic determine which kind of domain you are going to assess. When you see things of valuing, then that means start thinking about an affective domain. When you see things of appreciating, now you know that here you are going to level 3 of valuing. So some of these verbs that are being used are the ones that are going to help you to know which kind of domain you are going to assess, such that when you are arranging for this particular activity, you know that here I'm going to talk about this and what verbs should I use, but always we are guided using the syllabus. So this is about CAI. So when you look there, you will notice that under this term of term 2, CAI, you'll find that the domain, because you notice that the competence was talking about valuing the verbs. Even when you look at the syllabus, when it was being designed, you'll notice that those particular topics with those words are the ones that are being what? Are being used. Appreciating what. And if you remember very well the table, when you look at the table I showed you for the different verbs, you might have noticed that appreciating is under level 3 and it qualifies to be under the affective what? Affective domain. So that is how it will appear. So that is about the affective domain. When you go to electricity, you'll also notice, for you when you read through, there are certain words that will be used in the syllabus to guide you on the domain. That here you not appreciate the importance of use of energy saving. So that means you now read through, look out for those particular words that bring out the competency. And then when you are teaching, now here like appreciating the importance, it means that now you must set an activity that will require this learner to appreciate energy saving appliance. You can look at the situation at school, it can be at home. You know those days when you have paid for your car and maybe within a few minutes or what, the electricity, even the current situation, people have started to analyze that the other body, at least I think they were giving them a lot of units compared to this body. So now we have started now to appreciate and valuing our yaka or the electricity than ever before. So these are the different things we need to look out for. So here you look out for that situation that will prompt the learner, that will support the learner to appreciate and value, but use their feelings. The learner must be touched. It must be touched that when I waste this is what happens. Such that when she reaches that characterization level, even if she finds, let me say, water pouring, you see them now turning it off. When they find power on, they can switch it off. So they will start now valuing things at another level. Then we have the second domain we call the psychomotor domain. Psychomotor domain, we assess different things. But under the psychomotor domain, we are looking at what can the child do using the hands. That's what we call the psychomotor domain. That he will use his mind, but also involve the hands-on. So we are looking at if you are teaching this person a given topic, where can this child use the hands to do something? If you are teaching this child, let me say your topic maybe in ICT, I'm concentrating mainly on term 2 topics. You are teaching this child about art and design, and you're looking at painting. Let the child sit down and paint using the hands. When you are teaching this child in ICT, electronic waste management, let the child touch. In case you have some computers you are disposed of, can this child touch them? Does he know how to keep them? Does he know where to dispose them? Such things. If you are teaching this child maybe in technology and design, and you are teaching this child about construction practice, then you are going to check and say, under construction, I want you to see this child get the sand, get the cement, let him start what? Doing the real construction. That means you are assessing the psychomotor domain. Psychomotor domain, the child must touch, must be able to do. And here, we shall always look at the speed the child is using. We shall look at the strength, the coordination, the distance. I can maybe use an analogy of driving. When you look at the driving process, many times when you are starting to drive, those who are driving, the first time, what always you do, you are going to look at the driver, the instructor will sit in the driving seat, and you will sit on the left. You observe what the person is doing. So with time, those who have, with the time, what will happen? That now after you have observed this person driving, you are going to start imitating, trying to almost do the same thing. You have seen children who are used to us, that when it comes sometimes, when we are away from class, you'll find them doing exactly what you do, mimicking you, trying to do almost the same thing. So that means that under the psychomotor domain, here we do expect that as you are teaching this child, let me say you are doing a practical, mainly biology, chemistry, physics. Those are practical subjects, and many times for you, the domain you're going to mainly deal with is going to be the psychomotor domain. So here we expect that you can first show the video, you can first do this experiment for the children, let them see what you are doing. So there, let them see what they are doing, but also when they have the instruments, because you have said they must also touch, then they will do exactly what you are doing. So they are imitating what you are doing. Then with the time, these children, let them do the practical without you showing them what to do, but recalling what they did in the past. Then time is going to come whereby you're going to limit them. You tell them, for this practical, we have to use 1 hour to finish. The first time they may take long time, but as time goes on, because they have become used, time that they are taking will reduce. So under psychomotor domain, we shall also look at the speed as one of the components when we are dealing with it. So under this domain, also we have the different levels. And under those different levels, there are certain keywords that are being used. The first level is what we call imitation. Imitation, you do exactly what another person is doing. As the teacher in class teaching about this, you do exactly what the other person is doing. The teacher you do, the children are also doing. They copy what you are doing. Here, in other words, they are copying, they are repeating, duplicating what you are doing. Then the second level is what we call manipulation. Now here, under manipulation, the child can perform a task, but from memory. Take an example. At the first level, you can give them instructions on what to do. Second level, under manipulation, you do not give them instructions, but they follow what they learned or what they did. That one is under manipulation. They can perform, but not to their best, but they can do something through the memory. Then under precision, here the child can do something without instructions. Here the child can do without you, an instructor, intervening, without you being there, but you can just look. In case it is in the driving school, the first level under imitation, here you look at here, you are given instructions, you follow exactly. They tell you, go here, you go here, you go here, go here, like that. Then when it comes to the second level, in case I'm relating it to the driving phase, what will happen under manipulation? Here, you can perform a task, but you are still reading on the paper that is under the manipulation. Here, you are not yet so competent. Then under the third level, under this precision, the person teaching you how to drive gets out of the car and he leaves you inside for you to start driving. You have achieved some kind of competence, but you are not yet an expert. Then the second level is articulation. Here you can go on the road. Here you have mastered a bit. You're a bit confident. Now, in case you have reached that level, here you can even go on the road and you start what? Driving. Then the last level is what we call the naturalization level. Here you have become a star that even you can drive when your hands are up. You can drive and do anything with the car. So that is under naturalization. So the same way I have related to the driving thing is the same way we expect. In case it is a practical, you have taught these children have gone through maybe measuring focal length of a concave mirror. We expect that at first you'll give them instructions on what to do. Then the second time, you withdraw them a bit. Let them remember something. Third time, here, no instruction given, no intervention. Then, when it comes to articulation, here, they can do the things very well without your support, and you can be very confident with them. Then, under naturalization, the last level, they can perform an experiment without your input very well, without any instructions given to them. They are competent. Even if you just call them out from the compound, they can do something. Now, that is the naturalization. The moment a child reaches naturalization, it means that he should not fail something. Even if you wake them up in the night, they have reached this, they can do it. That's why some of us, or some of the teachers who have reached this naturalization level, even if you have seen those teachers who have reached this naturalization level, sometimes you say, those people cram. No, someone has reached naturalization level. Here he can remember anything, he can perform any action without a lot of effort, without any effort. You have seen these border men standing on the borders. It means this person has reached the naturalization level. So this is where we expect our children to reach. We do expect them that when you do teach them very well, you have done your part very well. Why should they really go on and fail the practicals? Why should they go on and fail a given concept? So we do expect that for a child that is well trained, that you have assessed well, he needs to reach this level. That's why when sometimes we keep wondering, I'll give an example of maybe math. Math, there is a topic called linear programming. You look at the situation where a teacher is saying that this child at naturalization achieved everything. That means that for whatever scenario you give this child, he or she must be in position to do. But when the paper comes, you find that this child is not competent yet. So that means that as a teacher, when you're assessing, you need to look at that. You put that into consideration that I'm giving this person something in naturalization, but has the child reached that level? These are the children you find in class at naturalization level. When any topic, any paper, any scenario you bring, whether you have twisted it left, right, up, down, the child can do. That means the child has reached this what? This kind of level. So that is the naturalization. So the lowest level is imitation, manipulation, precision, articulation, and then last one is naturalization. So that is briefly about the psychomotor domain. So for this term, which topics do we expect that we teachers, we must assess? So the topics, these are the different topics for the different subjects that this must be assessed for the senior 4 class this term, and the marks or the scores that must be submitted. And when you look at all these topics, you can notice that they have a real life application. They have a real life thing they are related to. When you look at applying for a job, that is something that happens. Now, as a teacher, this is where now you need to ask yourself, Can I have some photos? Can I take some videos? Do I have some videos somewhere? Do I have those articles? Do I have those papers asking that call people to apply for a job? Do I have those long lines where people are applying for jobs? Now that is under that. So now, what is our task as we prepare for the next session? Now, in case I'm an English teacher, I want you to look out for a situation in real life. This situation, look out for a picture when people are applying for jobs. When they are making those long lines, taking their letters, look out for those different letters companies write, calling for people to apply for a job. In case I'm for Sarah E, can I look for those situations where justice is being displayed or even the injustices somewhere? In case I'm someone of geography, I look out for population and urbanization in Africa. Look out for countries that have developed. Maybe even you can start with, now here you can start with what we have here. Now at the first level, you can look at the population within maybe a district, go to another level, go to another level, like that, like that. Try to bring out those situations of population urbanization somewhere. In case I'm someone of mathematics, lines and planes in three dimensions, ask yourself, where is it being displayed? Look at the different houses people are constructing. Which figure is that? That one resembles a cuboid. Look out at the tanks people use. That one can be maybe a cylinder. So look out for those different what? Things. In case I'm in agriculture, cooperatives and self-help groups in agriculture, here look at the PDM thing. Because the government is looking at people forming groups. In case I'm looking at physics, look out for a situation on electric energy distribution and consumption. In case you are moving to Jinja, traveling to Jinja, why don't you take those power stations? Why don't you take a picture, in case they allow you, of those people when they are working on putting those electric poles, what, and the rest of that? In chemistry, energy changes in chemical reaction. Look out for those real life concepts that children can easily relate to, such that when we are coming back next time, we relate to those real life situations in order for us to be able to develop our scenarios at different levels. In case you are looking at art and design, look at figurative painting. Where does it? Electronic waste management. Look out for a photo. Many times you have seen companies display or auctioning. I saw recently companies that were auctioning maybe those ICT tools where when you go to some companies, you find them when they have put those old computers, what, and the rest of that. Can you have those pictures? Can you have those videos? Do you have maybe a news reporter reporting about it? Do you have a simple video to show? Look at entrepreneurship. Look at the international trading. So I want each one of us here, as we prepare for our next session, that now I do believe we have picked an idea on what to do for each of the different domains. Look out for something in real life that is related to the topic you are going to assess the senior force on, such that we prepare very well next time as we are going in for our next session on how we develop, how to assess, and how we can administer effectively these CAIs to our children. Allow me to end here, and I take back the mic to the host. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen, for this very important and elaborate presentation on the continuous assessment. Members, it is time for feedback and interactions with our speaker. You can try to raise up your hands and share your comments or any questions you have for Stephen. You're welcome. Yes. I see two people with their hands up. The member from Kochi Secondary School. Can you unmute and raise your issue? Yes, Kochi SS. We are not getting you well. Kochi, can you unmute and present your issue, your comments? Then we have Agaba Emmanuel. Can you unmute? Alternatively, Mr. Agaba Emmanuel.
Yes, this is Agaba Emmanuel.
Yes, please go on.
This is Agaba Emmanuel. Mine is to appreciate for what Stephen has given us. Really, I was messing up, but now at least I'm in line with it. I appreciate.
Okay. Good. That is an appreciation. Kyochung Emmanuel, can you unmute and share your comments with Stephen and members? Kyochung Emmanuel. We're not getting Kyochung Emmanuel. Teacher Sapra.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I would like to thank Teacher Stephen for the presentation, but also share my experience with my senior 4 students this year. I am a teacher of English, and the topic where we got our CAI was applying for a job, like Teacher Stephen has presented. So after teaching my children about everything, applying for a job, CVs, writing application letters, citing jobs in newspapers, we got to a point where we started to actually act applying for a job and then coming for interviews, which is our CAI activity. So I would get like 2 students and tell them that I'm getting like 2 students. I tell them that tomorrow I'm going to be observing how you can present yourself well for interviews. So they go and dress up because it's written in the observation checklist. The children are supposed to learn how to present themselves for jobs. So they dress in the best way possible, then present themselves, and their friends make up the interviewing panel, and they come and present themselves as if they're asking for a job. Now, as they are speaking, I am observing their voice projection, their eye contact, how they can ask for clarification or repetition politely, and then that is acting it and living it. Now, like Teacher Stephen said, even after that activity, I keep observing them. What if they're asking an elder for clarification and repetition? Do they still do it politely, like how we did it in class? So I keep observing them for the naturalization stage, and it is working so well, so perfectly. The children are enjoying themselves, they are learning, and I believe it is making a difference in their lives. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that experience. And we are glad that our colleagues in the languages, in the other disciplines, they have joined us in this session. We are very grateful. We are working for this country. Thank you, Teacher Sapra, for your submissions and experiences. Any other comments and submissions? Because moderate there's our speaker Stephen, Mr. Kaziba Stephen. I don't see any direct question to you yet. Let me try to monitor and see if there's a question for you to respond. If that doesn't come, I will also ask you to share your comments on the experiences shared by teacher Sapra and others. Let me first check. I don't see hands up, but we have about 54 members now online. We were 64. Yes, I see Mr. Onema Patrick. Can you unmute and share? Onema Patrick. But
yes, thank you, Jacinto, for giving me chance once again.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes,
yeah,
we're getting you well and clear.
Okay. I wanted to appreciate Kaziba and all those who had organized this meeting here. I think this thing has opened my mind so much. How I wish this recording be shared after this meeting so that the rest of my teachers will be able to get this and we do the work very well. Otherwise, what happened the last year truly was not a good thing. Even the teachers, I don't know whether because of time or knowledge, they will just pick these activities and even begin squaring times without those activities, which was not something good. But I think with this training and the knowledge that we have got right from SESEMAT and what NCDC had done and this one here, I think we shall be able to do the rightful thing. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Thank you. I've seen the secretariat screen is there. Roger, would you like to say something? I also say hand up from the secretariat. Can you unmute and share?
Yes. Thank you very much. Mr. Angutok, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm getting loud and clear.
Yeah, just a small announcement as we conclude. To remind the members that our Science Innovation Projects competition is on. And on Saturday, we are in Mbale. So the update, the results for the Central Region have been published on the website. And you can be able to visit the website to see how the Central Region exhibition went. And also, there is a video and also the program for Mbale, the schools. Maybe just a reminder. Schools are requested, those which are coming to Mbale, to make sure that they come with presentations. A PowerPoint presentation. We saw in Central, some schools came when they don't have a PowerPoint. They thought maybe they're just going to have stories only. And also a report, because these are all considered during the scoring. So some good projects, very good. Some projects were saying, our project was very good. Our project, there is a project which was very good when you look at it, but it had just a one-page report. And having a one-page report made them to lose out marks because the judges look at the entire process, not only the product. They look at the objectives, they look at many things from the process. So if you don't have a report, there's no way they will be able to know about the process of how you came up with that product. Did you just buy the product from a supermarket and brought it for the exhibition? Your product is very good, but you may end up getting very low marks because you don't have a report. So this just to remind the schools, please make sure that you make a pitch deck and also a report. And also, one thing I want to note is that there is a sample of the project report, the project report and the pitch deck. There is already a template on the website of the union. So if you don't know how to make one, you go to the website and then you download a sample presentation, which has the required slides and also a sample report that will guide you on how to make yours. Then you come to Mbale when you are able to, you have a very good project, but also you have the documentation needed for you to excel. Unfortunately, my laptop has gone off. I was going to show that, but just go to apps2.org, you click on library. Where there is library, you'll find there some resources that guide you. So let us meet in Mbale for those who are invited. After Mbale, we shall be going to Northern region, and we shall be going to Western region in Mbarara SS the other Saturday, and then we shall conclude with Lango College in Northern region. So basically, that's what yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kaziba. So go to the digital library at apps2.org. You can be able to download the sample pitch deck, and also you can be able to even get an idea of the vetting. For us, we have made sure that we even share with you what are those things the judges are looking at. There is a vetting shortlisting score sheet. Just look at it. Those parameters are similar to the parameters in the final pitch deck. So please, you don't have any excuse for not excelling in this exhibition. In the new curriculum, we give you the criteria and you get to know. So prepare, practice, to keep time, manage, and make sure that you excel. We want the best in Mbale. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaza, for sharing, and Mr. Ngutoko. And all teachers, please, let us improve our pedagogy, how we teach learners and how to assess them. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Rogers. Mr. Kaziba, there are a few issues here. One is when is the next session of this continuous assessment? Then there's another one. Is it possible to share the notes that you have presented this evening? I think on the administrative side, as OOPS 2, we are going to, when we arrange for the second session of this CAI, we shall communicate on the platforms like we did today. But the sharing of the notes, I leave that for Mr. Kaziba to respond. And then also I want to appreciate there's someone who says he's a teacher of economics, and he has learned a lot this evening. I want to thank our friends in the humanities, in the languages, who have joined us. This is our platform. We need to improve teaching and learning in our country, Uganda. Thank you, Mr. Kaziba. Your final comments, then we wind up and we close this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, moderator. The slides will be shared to the UPSATU, so they're going to get them, and I know they will circulate them to all the people that have attended. So you'll receive them this evening. And then for the other session, you have been able to answer. So the UPSATU will communicate on when we can have. But I would like also to thank the organizers for this event. Thank you so much for adding a brick always to the development of the education of this country. We do appreciate these sessions that you are offering freely to the teachers of this country. And we pray that the teachers, they utilize the knowledge they learn from here to better their services in the different schools, such that we can have a better system and we keep on improving day by day. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Kaziba Stephen, and all our dear friends who have been online. We thank you for your participation. As Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, we use this platform to run the ProDev Hour, to run the Science in Action, to run the Science, Technology, and Innovations competitions. That's why Roger was able to share with us our upcoming programs of the science, ongoing programs of innovation competitions that from Central Region, Mbogo Mixed, we are now going to Mbale for the Eastern, then we shall go to Western Mbarara, and then we end in Northern. So all those schools, we ask you to prepare. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, has tasked us, scientists in this country, to make 7,500 innovations every year. And being the foundation of this, we ask the science teachers to be hands-on in all that they do with their learners, so that the learners can prepare their minds to bring up new innovations for a science-led economic transformation of our country. Thank you so much for your participation. God bless all of you, wherever you are. Some science teachers normally gather in a staff room or in the lab to share on this, to get these programs together. Please, safe journeys back home. Thank you so much. God bless you. For God and my country, till next time we meet again. Thank you.